All right, we're going to talk about this. I don't want my CDL. I don't want to work in construction. I don't want to get a trade. I don't want to do any of these things that people are telling me to do. I appreciate it. Those are great paths, but those are not the paths for me. I have dreams and I have a vision for myself that's bigger than that. And I'm saying this from inside my mom's house and the room I grew up in. Why? Because I have faith in myself that I can accomplish these things. I'm not going to let my current situation distract me from my vision or my dream. And I feel like people try to shrink your vision to only what they can understand. And I'm saying this for all my rebuilders out there, right? If you rebuilding your life, you're not rebuilding it to have a life that you don't want. So do not let somebody's limits for their life and their situation be the ceiling for your life.
So that's all good and dandy until we watch this next video.
I moved back in with my mom at the age of 33 with 3 kids. Not because I wanted to, because I needed to. I outgrew the phase of living in a car, and staying any longer would have just been ego. Let me show you guys the room I grew up in. This is what I grew up in. I need my mom help more than ever right now. And I'm not going to let pride and ego not take it. I moved.
So didn't I tell you? It sounds good and dandy. You want to be 33 chasing your dreams. You didn't tell us what your dreams were. That could be intentional because you know once you say what they are, that you might face intense scrutiny, i.e., what I hear a lot of grown men's dreams are in 2026, which is wanting to be rappers. So I hope that's not what it is. And you got, I think he said 3 kids. He's 33 with 3 kids living with his mom. That's a totally different situation if you're just out here with no kids, no responsibilities, and you just want to try to chase something that you may never attain. Hey, cool. But you don't get to take those type of risks, as well as, from my understanding, I believe he just got out of prison or something like that. And in the first video, he mentioned he doesn't want to do no trades. He doesn't want to get his CDL. He doesn't want to do none of that. So you just really don't want to work. And that's not an option because kids have needs now, just like you see for yourself. Because to be honest, you've kind of put yourself in the position of a kid as well because you're depending on somebody. You're depending on your mom. Those kids want to have to be able to depend on their parents too. And you have to be that. And the reason that you're able to go stay with your parents is because they chose stability and they did the more practical option, which then facilitated you to be able to have a place to have all your needs met when the time came, even at the age of 33. And it would be nice if your kids could have that option as well. Y'all, before we get into the next clips, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also if you could hype.
So you think your life fucked up right now? Let me tell you a little story. So I've been on child support for 17 years. 17 years I've been paying child support. I've been having my son for the past 4 years. He turned 18 in August. He graduated in 2.5 months. I'm still paying child support to this day. I'm still paying child support to this day. At first I was mad about it. At first I was, this shit gotta be a scam. This shit ain't legal. This shit like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was doing each and everything to try to figure out like why is it keep going on? Like why is I'm still paying child support? I'm going from back and forth to court, back and forth to court, back and forth to court. Talking to the judge. She telling me it ain't nothing she can do. How it ain't nothing you can do when I have the child. When the child lives with me and I'm still paying child support, right? How is it even? It don't even make no sense. She can't even make no sense of it. She couldn't even make no sense of it. So the thing I did was I just kept pushing. Even though I know like, okay, this It's got to end one of these days. It's got to end. It's got to stop one of these days. So I just kept pushing. Yeah, at times I was getting mad. At times I was complaining. Let me tell you something, right? To this day right now, I'm having to still come out of my pocket to feed him. I got to still come out of my pocket to pay his senior fees, his prom fees, cap and gown fees. I still got to come out of my pocket to paying all this stuff with no help. Ain't nobody offering no help. His mama, she over there getting the child support money, and she still ain't doing shit with the money. She don't even help out at all. She don't even call and be like, hey, nothing. So if you think you going through something, how you think I feel? I mean, I've been going through this shit for the past 4 years. And I just keep waking up every day, still doing what I'm supposed to do. Still grinding. Still getting up every day. And days I be like, man, fuck this shit. And days I be like, I don't want to do this shit no more. So
Nah, we gotta call a spade, man. You ain't handling your business. You're not handling your business. It's not that complicated. That's an open and shut case. There's something missing within this story. I know he said he thinks he's trying. He's not trying. Dude, get an attorney. Or at least consult with one. Because that's a pretty clear thing. You hit all the checkbox. Your kid is 18 and you've been having custody of the kid. I see this all the time because guys will think that they're doing everything they can and they're not doing the obvious, most conventional thing. They're really just hustling backwards, but they just think that they really just be texting their baby mama, like, handle your business. It just needs to get handled. Do you know how many dudes I come across who are like not even with their woman, like they say they're divorced, but they're not divorced on paper. And then it's like, dude, what's taking so long? Like, why don't you just go ahead and get that squared away? What happens if you get a crazy promotion and you just continue to increase your earning capacity and then you decide to do the divorce at that point? They're not thinking like that. And it's really silly. And I think that's kind of the case in this situation too. You see it with child support as well. That's why people will be like, why didn't you fight for it? Because dudes will just, they'll just be very passive about court and just doing things the right way. They want to do it their way, which is just having a conversation and trying to just do what's fair. We understand it's fair, but you also have to be able to translate that in a court setting, and you have to do it doing the proper means. And there's really no excuse. You can literally go to AI and have AI coach you exactly what you need to do, whatever city, state that you're in. And it will literally tell you all the proper steps. It'll give you the links that you need to go to do it online. Dude, it's no excuse. You're just not doing what you're supposed to do. It's just that simple.
Signs you're dating a grown-ass man who's broke. He has roommates, or even worse, lives at home with his mama and says he's helping her out. The first time he comes to your house, he's amazed at how nice it is, and he immediately asks you how much you paid for it. He pays for your dates with cash. You don't even know if he has a debit or a credit card. He makes smart-ass comments about how bougie you are. And always has to tell you about how high maintenance you are. Not spending money on dates and always cooking because he's a chef. He makes smart-ass comments about how much of your own money you spend on clothing, jewelry, purses, etc. Comments on restaurants you select and says he likes hole-in-the-wall places. These are just the basics, ladies. Stay tuned for part 2. Knowledge is power. Cheers.
Big deal or no big deal? You are dating a man that is 45 years old. He has an apartment, but he also has a roommate. Damn.
Well, I got to see.
No, we saw there was a real reaction at the same time. Simultaneously.
I mean, that was a lot to take in.
40?
45.
It depends.
45?
45.
He's almost 50.
Yeah.
You got to get Medicare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit hard out here. That's crazy.
I wouldn't think it's a big deal.
It
'Cause he could
depends
be
on the
Yeah, I'm gonna say if
reason.
he
he's
could be
single and
saving for a house. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
single. I don't got no kids. Ain't no need for
especially
me
if
to
they don't got no kids. If they have no kids,
She still ain't fixed her face. Are
She
you
said,
all right?
nah.
is it his house?
I'm curious what y'all think. If there's any, ladies that want to talk about it in the comment section or want to address it, is that a deal breaker? But here's the thing: you don't know why. Well, 45 is kind of crazy, but you don't know why they might have a roommate. It could be a lot of different reasons. Because I see people take that same stance, even with younger guys, even with guys that are in their their mid 20s, lower 30s. It's still the same stance. It's still the same reaction like these women just gave. So I'm gonna address that. I'm gonna just address that, and some of that can still correlate and translate to a 45-year-old as well. But the thing is, you don't know why that person might be living with a roommate, and that can actually serve as a very good indication that he probably doesn't have kids, which should be great, and which should signal responsibility in some way that they've been responsible to make sure that they haven't done that. As well as, there's just some guys that like camaraderie. Maybe it's a guy and he was in the military, in the barracks. And so he was used to being around his brothers, accomplishing missions with his brothers. And, that's just the dynamic he likes until he ultimately decides to have a family. Listen, I've met people who are directors at major companies who have roommates, clearly making multiple six figures, not lower six figures, not 100 grand, much more than that. And they have roommates and they're saving money. And it's a win-win because they're with their buddies and they have common interests. Listen, you got dudes creating whole startups, whole 9-figure startups, living with their buddies because they just want to work nonstop. And that's another thing. A guy may just work a lot to where it really doesn't matter where he lays his head. So that can actually be a positive indication, but if we just take it off face value and make assumptions, then you could actually miss out on something great. At the end of the day, the net is that, listen, you're not going to tell me that two single people with no kids can't survive out here and make something happen. So ultimately, if you're single with no kids and a man single with no kids, it really shouldn't matter. You can build, and that really should be the mentality, the willingness to build with somebody. Because again, if you don't have any baggage, if you don't have any kids, then it's actually not that hard to be able to come up with something and be able to be sustainable and then grow that from that level.
Same time, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror at 35 years old. You still working at Amazon.
You got to get your priorities right.
Correct.
Like, ain't nothing wrong with starting over or getting it from the bottom, but you can't be a dad and still
facts.
out here acting like you a YN for
Correct.
real. Financially. Like you
Correct.
could kick it, like, yeah, if your pockets together and you work your Amazon job and you got your side hustle, you could do that. But at the end of the day, you got to make sure your pocket's right because you got financial responsibilities for you, your son, or whoever it may be. So
Agreed.
yeah, men got to get their stuff together though. Focus, and that's the whole thing.
At the same,
If you're a grown man and you over the age of 30, pursuing a rap career, just go ahead and jump. Jump already. If you're 30 years or older and you're still pursuing a rap career, just go ahead and jump. Because I had a friend of mine who told me that he started a real estate career just to be able to invest more money into his rap career. So if you're 30 and older and you're trying to start a rap career, just go ahead and jump already. If you're a grown
He's referring to go ahead and jump ship because his caption says take your A to work. So don't think he's telling you to jump and take a leap of faith and go all in on rapping. No. And I brought this up. I think that first dude, I really think that's what he's trying to do. That first dude we watched, 33, living with his mom with kids, and he's talking about chasing his dream and he ain't going to get a trade. I think that's what he's trying to do. Addressing the previous clip where they were talking about if you have an Amazon job or Basically, what they're saying is, at a certain point as a man, if you have a dead end job and it's clear that there's no clear path to growth, and you're not trying to grow, and you're not trying to get into something to where you can actually start to move up, and there's a clear path to that, and a probable and likely path to that, right? Because listen, Amazon, especially you working at the warehouse or something, they got thousands of people working at the warehouse, and there's not even hundreds of upper level jobs, right? It probably is, but I'm just saying, in proportion, it's just not likely. And there's no guarantee. You can end up getting burned. You can end up leaving that job and having nothing and just having to start over from scratch. So I agree that it should get to a certain point to where you have a little bit of wisdom and you're able to kind of make better strategic plans for your life to make sure that you're starting to move towards leverage and you're starting to move towards sustainability, especially if you want to be responsible for guiding other people who would be you would be responsible for. I agree with that. I think, and I would like to see that, right? I would like to see us as men, especially black men, where we get more business about ourselves and we stop trying to be rappers. Because I want to see, and just working dead end jobs as well. I want to see other dudes that look like me. I want to see you driving with your car, with your collar shirt pressed, and it hanging up on the little um, holder that you have in the car, where you can see it through the windshield. I want to start seeing dudes like that with their stuff pressed for when they get to work, so they can just put it on and it's already pressed. That's what I want to see, right? Us just driving more outcomes and being more needed as far as business outcomes, being more of a necessity instead of going after jobs to where we can be easily replaced by anybody, even a 16-year-old. So, and I think it's moving towards that, honestly, from what I see. But I still want to see more representation.
A man is not stable. Going number one, if he got too much time on his hands. A man that got too much time on his hands ain't got no business by himself. He don't got nothing else to do but lay up under you all day. Broke. Next. Going stronger, number two, he doesn't have a real bank account. His bank card say Chime and Cash App. Why can't you get a real bank account? Number three, it's a no-brainer, but sometimes I gotta spell shit out for y'all. If he doesn't have a car and wants a car, his excuse is his car is in the shop. Okay, his car been in the shop for 18 months. Okay, at one point does it come out? He don't got no car, bro. He don't got no car, and he gonna tell you that shit in the shop. That shit is not in the shop. He don't got no car. This should be another no-brainer. Okay, we're going strong with number four. A lot of y'all will look over this and be like, "Oh, that's not a big deal." It is. If he has a roommate, he is not stable. Probably tell you, "I'm just doing it to save money until I can buy me a house." A real grown-ass man do not want to stay with another grown-ass man. He ain't got it. He definitely ain't got it. Okay.
Well, I can tell you, I definitely don't want to stay with another grown man. But I don't think that is an indication of whether or not you're a real grown man. There could be other reasons why they would. And some people just don't mind that. That's just my preference. Now, here, if you don't have a bank account though, that's wild. And that's a pretty clear indication that you probably don't have a lot of money saved up. Because if you actually do have a lot of money saved up and you just have it in cash and you don't have it in something that can insure it up to a certain amount, then that's kind of crazy. Preferably a brokerage account, but at the minimum, a bank account. And I think a lot of these things can kind of correlate with each other, right? Because what was the third thing she said? She said if he doesn't have a bank account, hold on.
At one point, does it come out? He don't got no car, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. If he doesn't have a car, right? Those can kind of correlate because if you don't have a bank account, then it's going to probably be hard to get a car too, right? You're going to be paying them in cash and in check every time your account is ready, or are you just going to pay for the car in general? Which again, if you just have hordes of cash somewhere, your house can burn down, excuse me, your house can burn down, somebody can rob you for it, a million different things. So it's just a safer thing to just have it digital. But I mean, talking about it's redundant. I think most people actually know that. So it's no point really speaking about it. That is kind of crazy if you don't have a bank account as a man. But we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes larger content creators. So you just press the hype button, then it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller content creator, we actually get more points per hype than most other content creators. And then also Patreon's link below as well if you want to see self-improvement content. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.